lot of nuts!
Welcome back, hyenas, to Shmeme Review, YouTube's most distinct IP, never before been done. We take a look at funny stuff on the internet, and then I say a number afterwards. It's a lot of fun. Let's get started. Elmo's Twitter account, aka anti-Semitic Elmo. I know what you're thinking. That's a crazy aka. What's going on? Let's talk about it. Elmo, if you guys are unfamiliar, is the little red Muppet puppet guy from Sesame Street. To my knowledge, he's the only character who has his own little section called Elmo's World, in which he trips on psychedelic drugs while vlogging from his penthouse apartment. How does a 4-year-old manage to afford such an apartment on the ludicrously expensive, notorious Sesame Street? Your guess is as good as mine, but the important thing for us to know is that this 4-year-old has a Twitter account.
Actually, Mr. Sumito, Elmo is 3.5 years old. He hasn't turned 4 yet.
Listen, you f***ing dork, if you're gonna be this specific about how young this character is, I want to see what flight logs you've been on in the last 20 years. That joke's gonna make a lot more sense in about 90 seconds. Anyway, the reason that we're talking about Elmo's Twitter account is because Elmo's got a Twitter account. I believe that on its own is kind of funny, but earlier this year, July 29th to be specific, and by July I mean January, I'm getting my months confused, Elmo tweeted out, "Hey everybody, Elmo just wants to know how you're doing." An innocuous enough question, but to ask on Twitter of all places in 2025 of all years. Elmo, you are in for a hell of a lot of responses, and this tweet would go on to go viral with upwards of like 200 million views and God knows how many responses. Elmo, I'm gonna be real here, man. I am at my fucking limit. I did not have all of us trauma dumping on Elmo on my bingo card. I'm gonna be real with you. If you're gonna ask how I'm doing, that's on you. That's your fault for what happens next. Obviously, we were met with a number of very ridiculous and emotional responses to people talking about just how difficult life has been. Even President Joe Biden coming out to say, I know that some days are hard to sweep under the clouds and get to sunnier days. Man, America was going through it. Elmo, I do not believe, understood the can of worms that he was opening. Elmo would follow up with yet another tweet just the following day stating, wow, Elmo is glad he asked. Elmo learned that it's important to ask a friend how they're doing. Elmo will check in again soon, friends. Elmo loves you. Thank you, Elmo. I am looking forward to more tweets from Elmo. Wow, I did not realize Elmo was so based. It turns out Elmo is not based. In fact, it turns out that Elmo was hacked. Evidently, as a puppeteer, it's easy enough to stick your hand up the backside of a Muppet and then still type on a keyboard and ask people how they're doing. But oh, activating two-factor authentication? That's too difficult. And this is what you get. Now, the tweets at this point have already been deleted, but it does seem as though the one existing screenshot that has been shared around for the most part still includes his pinned tweet, which was Elmo asking, just checking in, how is everybody doing? You're witnessing it firsthand, Elmo. This website sucks. Elmo would proceed over the course of like 10 or 20 minutes to spew out a number of anti-Semitic tweets, as well as responding to other people while stating slurs and overall just generally bad vibes. Interesting enough, this has to be one of the funniest hacks to have happened in terms of like the character that you could have hacked. Like, generally when somebody gets hacked on Twitter, they're a big enough celebrity to where the main thing that makes sense is to try to make some sort of monetary gain from it. But this individual who hacked the official Elmo account on Twitter for some reason didn't decide to shill some sort of crypto pump and dump, and I think that would have been the funniest thing ever. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, Bitcoin! Most of the tweets being filled with racial slurs and anti-Semitism, overall bad vibes. Cannot say that it's very based of Elmo. Adding the current president of the United States and demanding that he releases the Epstein files and calling him a child. 10 out of 10. Those two things combined, in my opinion, I'm gonna give overall Elmo being hacked on Twitter a 6, I guess. I mean, how highly can you rate a meme that lasted all of 20 minutes, right? All right, I've got a collection of Gordon Ramsay on kitchen nightmares copy pastas that I found put together on Twitter. I don't do a great Gordon Ramsay, but fuck it, I'm gonna try. Gordon Ramsay being lowered down a well. Fuck me. The bucket he's in descends deeper. His voice is echoing now. I'm being lowered down a fucking well, into the fucking darkness. He keeps descending, barely audible echoes now. Fucking hell, this is deep. Jesus Christ. Gordon Ramsay, excuse me, darling. What's going on back there? Waitress, the chef is Bigfoot? The chef is Bigfoot. Correct. The chef is Bigfoot. Fuck me. Okay, darling, thank you. Waitress leaves. The chef's fucking Bigfoot. Wow. Okay, fuck me. Wow. Gordon Ramsay on Kitchen Nightmares. Where are you getting this eggnog? Staff, we milk it fresh from the creature every day. Gordon, fuck me. They milk it from the creature. This place is going under. Gordon Ramsay at the Krusty Krab. Oh, fuck me. They've got a sponge working the grill and a cephalopod as the cashier. Mr. Krabs leaves his office. Oh, God, what the hell are they serving here? Jesus fucking Christ. Which one of you is the food? I would like to point out that these memes are significantly funnier if you read them in your head with Gordon Ramsay's voice rather than my voice. But Sumito, couldn't you have just used a Gordon Ramsay AI? No, I voice my own memes the way God intended. That being said, I'm gonna be honest, these were funnier in my head and a little bit less funny as I read them out loud. 4 out of 10, whatever, I'll take the L. Transition. Indonesian boat racing. Who would have thought it has so much aura? If you guys have ever seen boat racing, it's when boats go fast. However, when you're going too fast, the top of the boat can occasionally lift off of the water, resulting in less boat forwardness. So what some racers will do is stick a small child at the front of the boat, basically as a counterbalance to all of the propulsion that's being generated by the guys rowing. What is the job of this kid? He's a weight. He can be replaced with a sack of potatoes, but a sack of potatoes can't dance. This aura farming boat kid, in order to put together more sentences that remind me that the gray hairs in my beard aren't getting any less gray, has taken over the internet over the last couple of weeks, and my favorite thing about memes like this is when they go mainstream. And to see other racers, or even just organizations in esports or churches in some situations, doing their own examples of this boat aura dance kid Labubu matcha latte. Obviously, people doing it on a desk or standing on the hood of their car is pretty neat. I would imagine since it's an 11-year-old, there isn't anything particularly dangerous about doing this at a top speed rowboat. I mean, at the end of the day, if you fall, it's water. Hopefully the kid can swim. I think the swaggest version of this is on a motorcycle after finishing a race, because that's genuinely kind of dangerous and goes a little bit harder than the rest, my opinion. Obviously, a big part of the edits that are made to this Indonesian kid dancing on the front of a boat is the music that is set to most of these edits, that being Young, Black, and Rich by Melly Mike. However, it's a copyrighted song, so I went ahead and found the most high-quality, royalty-free version I could find in order to give you the same experience. Okay, that kind of sucked, but still, the meme itself is pretty chill, and as always, I love when memes leak into real life and have people that have nothing to do with meme culture recreating those memes. It reminds me what it feels like to be alive, and as a result, I feel like this is a pretty solid one. I'm giving Indonesian boat aura farming kid 8 out of 10. I like this one. My opinion. Next meme. You guys remember in the last video when we were talking about Grock going Mecha Hitler mode, where I momentarily mentioned at the end of that video that some people have been using Grock, Twitter's AI, for gooning purposes? Well, as of this morning, Elon has announced that Grock now has a virtual assistant feature in which they have this sort of animated character that can speak to you as your AI assistant, only for those of us that are stupid enough to pay $40 a month for premium Twitter access. Now, one of the characters is of course a red panda, but that's not the character we're talking about. No, we're talking about the one that looks a little bit too similar to Misa from Death Note. This is 50% of the options that tech bros have for their AI companion.
Hey, love, you're all about that tech life this morning, huh? Okay, I'm picking up where we left off. Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip 7 just launched with a bigger 4.1-inch flex window and AI features like voice-controlled tasks right from the cover screen.
So AI has advanced to the point where you can now have your weekly internet news delivered to you on your phone by somebody who isn't a fat Indian guy in his 30s. Looks like it's over for me, boys. This meme gets a 0. If you guys want to let me know what you think of the memes down in the comments, please let me know what you'd like to see in the next episode, if there ever will be one. Remember to subscribe so that you don't miss it. A like helps out a ton, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.